Ross, tell me, what would be the advantage to a homeowner of getting an energy audit done?
Well, Anita, for your house, for example, you've got an oil furnace and you're able to get gas, and the price of natural gas is much cheaper than oil where you are. So right away changing that furnace over to a natural gas furnace is going to save you a bunch of money. But that doesn't actually change anything about how the house itself is losing heat. You're just paying less for the same amount of heat. So what's really important for this house is finding out where the heat's going and what's economical for you to do about it. For example, this basement wall here has the same insulation value as a single sheet of glass. If you looked at your basement as being a single glazed window, you'd see how much heat you're losing out through there. These are the kinds of things that not everybody's really aware of. We talked about the things you could do with your walls, and some of those things would be quite expensive compared to how much energy you're going to save. Other things could be really worthwhile doing. Your attic, we saw some really interesting things up in the attic where the bats don't go together very well. And putting some insulation on top of that is probably really going to pay for itself. Whereas on the other hand, changing windows doesn't always pay for itself. It's more of a comfort issue. So there's a whole lot of different things. Every house is different. Your house has got a whole bunch of different things in it. I've looked at 2 other houses today. They're completely different from this house. So every house has different characteristics about how it loses heat and where you can save it the most economically. We can take any house all the way to a net zero energy house, but it would be like a science experiment. What you want to do is something that makes a lot of sense economically for you to do.
And so the report that you're going to give me, that will give me a range of options?
What we're going to do is we're going to prioritize everything that we see that you can do in the house. And we're going to start with the most economical thing to do first and work our way down until we get to things that don't really make sense to do. Probably the first thing we'll look at in this house is air leakage, because that'll be the easiest and cheapest thing to do. The attic insulation would be next before you change your furnace, because you might be able to get a smaller furnace, save a little money and have it sized properly for the house. We talked about putting in a heat recovery ventilator, so you bring in fresh air all the time, and that'll, if we use an ERV, that will actually help with your air conditioning in the summertime as well, because you're talking about how you have a lot of humidity in the summertime that your air conditioner is having a hard time dealing with. So the ERV ventilation system would help a lot on that as well. So we're going to look at all of these different things and prioritize them based on what's. You can start at the top of the list and work your way down until either you run out of things to do or you run out of money, whichever comes first.